What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys a very anticipated classic review because we're all quarantined right now. There's no new movies coming out for a while, and I promised you guys I would do this review because I haven't seen this movie yet. It is the Stanley Kubrick classic from 1968, 2001, A Space Odyssey, which people have claimed to be one of the most visceral, mind-numbing, and just unique films ever made. And I had to bring on a guest for this one because this man has also not seen 2001: A Space Odyssey until now. And you may know who he is. If you don't, you're living under a rock. It's my buddy Zach Pope. Zach, what's going on, man?
Hey man, thanks for having me. When you text me about this, I'm like, damn, this is like finally the time I can watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. I gotta find time. Oh wait, my work shut down, so now I just got school, and that's it really. But yeah, man, this is definitely a movie that I've heard a lot about. It's one of those weird movies that's like, how have you never seen it? Well, guess what? I've just never seen it. And yeah, it was definitely an experience that I can't wait to talk about with you.
If you are new to this channel and this is your first time checking out my channel, please hit that like button and consider clicking that subscribe button for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. And without further ado, guys, we're going to talk about 2001: A Space Odyssey, and there will possibly be spoilers. There definitely will be spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's been 50 plus years. Go watch it. It's great. So, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Zach, do you really want to describe the plot to the movie without giving anything away?
Just kind of going off the basic synopsis that I've read before when I tried to convince some other people to watch this film, but they wouldn't. It's after discovering a mysterious artifact buried beneath the lunar surface, mankind sets off on a quest to find its origins with help from an intelligent supercomputer, HAL 9000. That's just the basicness of what this is about, Ryan. And it's it's weird how much this artifact
Yeah.
actually like drags you in.
It's a very complicated plot, but it's something that's very layered. And that's the biggest positive I can give with 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a very layered experience. And this movie's 2.5 hours long, and the film opens with just nothing for like 3 minutes straight. And while
Mhm.
Zach and I were watching it, we were like, is our TVs broken? And you
Yeah.
start to hear the score, and then it just brings you to this world, this African world where dawn of man is created. You see these apes, and they're basically doing ape noises, and then they discover some human bones, and they use it as a weapon. This big monolith appears, and it actually reminded me, and it actually was the scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the Wonka bar, and you see
Yes.
the apes, and they use that scene in that movie. So I thought that was a cool Easter
Well,
egg.
and it's funny. See, like this is a first time watch for both of us, and three things that I very much noticed is that like inspirations from this movie and a lot of callbacks are from other movies, like Toy Story 2. There are like audio cues from the opening sequence of Toy Story 2 that are from a 2001: A Space Odyssey. There are so many
Yeah, yeah.
references, and it's cool like watching it now and being like, oh, that's how this goes to there. That's where this goes to there, and the score is so prolific in this movie that it's like been everywhere throughout our lives. So it's actually really cool to see how that's now like adapted to us, if that makes sense to you. And I don't know for you, did you have the intermission in your version? Is the
I did.
intermission in
I
yours?
did.
Okay, so is mine. And that was something I was like, I actually get a break to go to the bathroom. I don't have to pause anything.
Yeah.
So it's really cool, like the way that they kept the presentation on these discs, because nowadays a lot of these movies don't have that, and it's actually really unique to see, to say the least, on that whole part.
Now, do you have the 4K for this
I
movie,
do,
right?
yes, I have the
I
four.
actually I actually don't have a 4K player, so I would love to
Uh-huh.
see this movie on 4K. But
It's
I could
dude, it's
yeah.
incredible. It's
So
incredible.
let's just talk about the CGI in this movie. The CGI, once we transition to that big satellite scene, my goodness, the visual effects to this movie still hold up. And you could definitely tell Star Wars took inspiration from this
Yeah.
movie with the space scenes. You see the spinning scene. You see the HAL 9000. It looks so incredible.
Well, the other thing that's really cool. I mean, there's that one shot of the astronaut walking through. That's like the most iconic, I would say, like most
Yeah.
iconic shot throughout the whole entire movie. But you say that space stuff, and it just makes me think. I'm like, how is Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones have such bad CGI nowadays?
Oh
Nowadays, I know
yeah.
at the time it wasn't, but like this movie is from the '68, and it still holds up to today. Like The other thing I really liked about it was the technology in it felt timely. I just watched True Lies for the first time. Have you ever seen True Lies with Arnold and directed by James Cameron?
I actually haven't.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and I really liked it. You should watch it, man. It's so underrated when it comes to their filmography.
Hmm.
Love the movie. The only thing is like it's very dated. Like it's from I think the late 80s, early 90s, and the technology they used for the spy stuff is so dated, like very, very dated, that it makes me
Hmm.
look at this and I'm like, what happened? I also find it very interesting that this is a G-rated movie. I find that very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Um,
As soon as I heard like Stuckman say it's rated G, I'm like, really? Really?
yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean, I know at the
yeah.
time there was different rating systems, so maybe that's
Hmm.
part of the reason why. Because like, I mean, Toy Story 3 is rated G, and that monkey fucking scares the shit out of me. I don't
Yeah,
know
the
about you.
monkeys beat that monkey up. Like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
but this is just an experience, man. Like, it's an
yeah.
experience. You turn your phone off, you sit back, you just get taken back by every single detail into this film. I mean, you see why this people hail this movie as perfect. Whether it's the score, the technical stuff, the technical side with the CGI that you were saying, the performances, and especially when Hal 9000 kind of starts doing his little turn towards the end of it,
Hmm.
really kind of comes to that whole prolific thing, and that artifact just God, that is in a it's like buried in my mind, like that artifact and like what it does and what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just it digs into your brain. It makes you interpret something. HAL 9000, what a cool thing. This technologic thing, this computer has the whole crew turn against each other and just go insane. It's such a cool concept, and Stanley Kubrick, just his vision, just bringing this whole film together, and it took so long to even develop this movie, and there's a reason why it's one of the best films ever made.
2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, it is an odyssey through time, and I think that's the more that's the insane thing about it. You know, it starts with this mankind thing, and you're like, okay, what is going on here? You know, and I'm sure like many people, I'm sure there are tons of people out there who've watched this and been like, what the fuck is this? I've never don't get the point of this, but as us who love film and people who really like let themselves go to it, this is an experience that if you let it take yourself, it's really a story about exploration. And I think that's the thing that really takes you through. You know what I mean? Even though you don't
Yeah.
understand everything and it's like a movie that you really want to deep dive into and talk about like we are doing now and like after this, like even discuss it, rewatch it, and over time just kind of really fall more into it's that exploration kind of thing to it is the because space is about the unknown, you know, and there's many
Hmm.
things that are unknown about this, like what is this mysterious artifact, what is the whole mankind thing, you know, how does that tie into this, how does this tie into that, and it's all these intersecting pieces that weirdly enough tie into the whole Odyssey that you were watching. And I think that's why, like, as a first time watch, like, this is a movie that, I mean, you and me have both heard that this is one of the most incredible films out there. And I mean, for me, it lived up. Did it live up to you?
Yeah, I was kind of worried going in because, maybe when people say like top 10 of all time, I
Mhm.
could end up being kind of
Yeah,
disappointed
yeah,
with some certain films. But everyone's right. This film is an immersive experience. It
yeah.
was more layered than I thought it would be.
Citizen and Kane. I don't like that movie. I don't. Have you ever seen Citizen and Kane? It's
No, I actually just bought the Blu-ray.
Oh, did you? So
It's coming, yeah.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts because I don't. I think it's very well made, but I don't love the movie. I think the movie's very overrated. I think at the time it was good, but now I don't really care for it. It's actually interesting. David Fincher's making a movie about that this year, so that's
Yes.
gonna be
Yeah.
really cool.
I'm looking forward to Mank. I
Yeah.
will have a review coming out actually for Citizen Kane,
Oh,
so you
okay,
can hear
cool.
my thoughts on it.
And I'm now I'm on a Kubrick kick. Like I haven't seen every film in his thing. Like
Now I'm gonna go through his whole filmography. Yeah,
totally, like the one I've never seen that I really do want to see is Eyes Wide Shut. That's the one I want to see the most.
yeah.
I mean when I go through it, like kind of just looking, like I've seen Spartacus, I've seen Doctor Strangelove, I've seen now 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've seen A Clockwork Orange, I've seen The Shining, I've seen Full Metal Jacket. I mean, for me, my favorite is probably The Shining, but really right
Yeah.
next to it is Clockwork Orange. But 2001: Space Odyssey is now up there, and I'm really excited to kind of go through his filmography now and kind of like play around with it. It's also crazy that he only pretty much he has 16 credits as a director, but
Hmm.
like 3 of those were documentary shorts. You know, so it's crazy that
Hmm.
like this high prolific director didn't direct all that much in his time. You know what I mean? For me, it's so brilliantly made. It has a perfect score, perfect visuals. I mean, it still holds up to today. There will be people who'll be like, it's too slow. I don't get the point of it. But like at the same time, it's an experience that if you're not in the mood to watch it, you're not gonna like it.
Amazing film, amazing visual effects work, so layered. Definitely watch this more than once. You're gonna get different interpretations every time you watch it, and this is a film I will definitely rewatch every single year. Try to find different meanings to it, and try to get other people to watch it that haven't seen it.
I'd give it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 8 plus, whatever you want to call it. This is the perfect movie. It's one of the best films ever made in it.
A plus for me, easily. Definitely go watch this film. That was our thoughts on 2001: A Space Odyssey. Of course, leave us your thoughts on 2001. Do you love it, think it's okay, or do you hate it? Let's have a great discussion in the comments. And before we end off the video, Zach, thank you so much for joining me. And it's always great. We should find another movie we both haven't seen and just do like a...
Well,
yeah.
So I actually have a new thing that I'm going to be starting on my channel, which is like perfectly ties into this, which I guess I'll kind of like announce on here. I've kind of brought it up on some podcast stuff, but I'd love to have you on a guest. I want to do like stuff with people like in Arizona. I want to do stuff with people on YouTube, but it's pretty much called First Time Watch. And I've seen other people on YouTube do it. I think it'd actually be really fun. Like I wish I would have done this. One of my friends had never seen any of the Star Wars movies, and I wish I would have recorded her response to each and every one of them, because she watched Solo first and thought it was really fun. I said, you should watch the rest of them. So I told her to watch Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and then go backwards, watch Rogue One, A New Hope, kind of in that order, and then prequels. And she freaking fell in love with them. And I wish I would have recorded her reaction because it was so charming. It actually puts a different perspective on Star Wars for me now, where I'm not trying to like hate on these movies anymore. Like I'm just trying to accept them, because like that mind frame made me so happy. But I know people who have never seen Indiana Jones. I have a friend who've never seen The Lighthouse, and it's like one of his most anticipated films. So like I told him like he can't watch it without me, because I think that's the first episode I'm gonna do for it, is like get his reaction to The Lighthouse, because he loves The Witch. It's really cool in this whole entirety to do these. So I think that would be really fun for us to kind of find another one, or maybe a film that you haven't seen that I can bring you in and kind of do the same thing and have a little fun collab back and forth on that. But yeah, so that's something I'm gonna be starting on this channel, especially since Ryan, there's no movies at all to talk about.
So yeah, we got months and months of quarantine. Zach, thank you so much for joining me, man. And real quick, tell my subscribers where you can find you on social media.
Yeah, man. Just Zach Pope pretty much everywhere. On Twitter, it's at Pope the King, but I'm pretty sure if you just type in Zach Pope, you can find me over there. YouTube, Zach Pope as well. Just come over. We love talking movies over here. I do the same thing Ryan does. Ryan has a great personality. I have a great personality. We just love talking movies, and this was a great collab. So thank you again, Ryan, for having me on. I love when we can collab, man, and it's nice to see that like I've finally gotten to like talk to more of my friends lately on YouTube.
Yeah, this is a perfect time,
Yeah, it sucks, but it's also like there's pros and cons to it,
And Zach also has a great podcast, The Geeks of the Round Table with Ren Geekness, so definitely go check that out.
Please
Look forward to them possibly on my podcast very soon. So tons of fun stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. To Zach as well. He deserves all the support. And guys, all my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!